Recently, I made a video exploring what downtown LA is like today, making my way through Pershing Square, Grand Central Market, Grand Park, the Last Bookstore, Little Tokyo, and the Arts District. But I didn't get to hit everything in one day, and honestly, might just have skipped over the most booming part of downtown. So let's head over to South Park. No, not the TV show, which is currently getting somewhat of a makeover. Is it changing for the better, or, well, what's going on in South Park? Alright, so welcome back to downtown LA. It is a cloudy day here. It seems that every weekend it is 60 degrees and cloudy and raining, and every weekday it's like 75 and sunny. South Park is a micro neighborhood within downtown LA, bordering the fashion district and the financial district, and is super well known because it is home to the Staples Center, or what's that new name again? Crypto.com Arena? Anyway, from 1999 to 2021, this arena was formerly called the Staples Center. It's of course home to LA's biggest sports team, serves as an entertainment venue, and will host the 2028 Summer Olympics for basketball. It's hosted just about every indoor sporting event in Southern California, and is part of LA Live, an entertainment and dining complex that sits across the street in Microsoft Square. Correction, it's now Peacock Place, because, you know, streaming's taking over everything. With their legacies, you can pretty much argue that these venues transformed South Park into what it is today, because before 1999, South Park was just a bunch of rundown buildings and parking lots and storefronts. And now, more than 20 million people a year visit Staples or Crypto and LA Live, and that's more than Disneyland. It's something to note here that its revampment in 1999 and beyond had all the right intentions to transform downtown LA, but was still met with a lot of criticism. Some critics called LA Live unimpressive, having a sleek placelessness with almost nothing to say to or about downtown Los Angeles, and offering no unique architecture and instead a place for advertisements. So what do we think? Is it just a cheap version of Times Square, or does it have character? Tonight we have a Utah Jazz versus LA Clippers game. You can see everyone here is lined up. Everyone is also in sweaters because it's freaking chilly. I think the basketball players are arriving and staying at the Ritz-Carlton. Saw a bunch of tall guys get out of the cars. Somewhere right around here, I believe maybe even at this hotel at the address 925 South Figueroa Street, was supposed to be Figueroa Centre, a 66-story skyscraper that never happened. It was set to be the city's third largest building and would include a hotel, condos, and retail space. City planning began in 2017, but it seemed to have been abandoned once the pandemic hit, and downtown was very noticeably affected. While it's no longer clear if this will ever be built at this point, this was supposed to be another factor to help give South Park and downtown a makeover. Although it seems that South Park is already feeling kind of a makeover right now, and maybe becoming trendier than ever. Let's explore around. But just like, look at all these parking lots. Look at what else we could have done to this space, right? Like, there's so much opportunity here. I am still getting a city vibe feel, of course, here in downtown LA. And what I could say about this neighborhood, South Park, so far is that it feels a little more built up and advanced than some of the other neighborhoods right now. Maybe in that sense, I just mean like the crypto arenas here, LA Live's here, and then you have a bunch of new high-rise buildings. So it kind of feels newer in a way. You know what I just realized about downtown LA? There's not as many of those classic LA palm trees all over the streets, you know, like the tall, skinny ones. That's why it feels so different here, aside from the skyscrapers.
I mean, sure, we got some nice trees, but we're in LA, right? Guys, this is not a New York special, okay? 2 slices of pizza for $14. What?
So many high-rise luxury buildings that all have an now leasing sign.
It seems everything is just high-rises and leasing.
I mean, just from the outside, this building looks so nice. I mean, it's, you know, across from a gas station. Gas is $5.79 a gallon. What is going on? Another loft apartment across the street. Even more here, and another one.
which of course, have like a subway underneath them. I mean, I don't think I'm being too critical when I say, do you really need to live on top of a Verizon? Here's another high-rise end development.
Oh my god, just the amount of luxury buildings I'm passing, way more than any just like cool establishment I'm seeing. So I gotta know what some of these look like from the inside. Let's go on a little apartment tour. I stopped in for a tour at a couple of the many luxury apartment buildings here, and the first high-rise building was just kind of beautiful, from the lobby to the security desk to the high-tech elevators to the pool. You just feel like you're at a resort hotel somewhere not maybe in downtown LA. These apartments do not come cheap though, with one bedroom pretty much starting over $3K a month and going up to $4K a month. So I instead took a look at the less expensive studios, and in a way, you kind of get what you pay for in terms of the new finishings and renovations and amenities and views. The units themselves though are just really nice. I mean, look at this bathroom. Is it worth the price tag though? I don't know, to swim in that pool. I did find it interesting that the leasing agent told me the vacancy rate is very high right now as they're trying to attract people to downtown in this area. Next, I toured another building that was right near the arena, and the studios were larger for cheaper, but the building lacked that resort-type feel from the first one. The first unit was 828 square feet for $26.48 a month, and had a rustic Brooklyn feel, honestly, with cement walls and aluminum foil ducts across the ceiling. The second was smaller for $24.30 a month, and while smaller, it had a little terrace, and for some reason felt a little homier. A pretty good view of the Staples Center too, or Crypto Arena, whatever it's called. So after touring two luxury apartment buildings here in the South Park neighborhood of downtown, I thought that they were pretty impressive with the amenities and renovations and all that kind of stuff, but still paying almost $3,000 for a studio in downtown LA, a place that's still kind of up and coming and not the safest place in the city. I don't know if I would be willing to pay that much rent now to live in this neighborhood, but I guess I didn't hate what I saw, so that says something. There's also this really nice, well-groomed and manicured park called Grand Hope Park, which I think is the kind of like the campus to FITM. But as soon as they saw a camera, security kicked me out, so I can't show it. I don't know why, just promoting the parks here, right? As I'm walking around this neighborhood, I will admit that there's not a lot of establishments that are piquing my interest. Like, yeah, there's a Starbucks, there's a Ralph's Grocery Market, there's a kebab shop, but there's not like too many new interesting places, I guess. And I'm not just talking about like coffee shops that sell oat milk lattes for $10. I guess just walking around, I had the thought that I'm not too sure what would push me to really want to live in this area, even though there's so much development with the apartment high-rises right now, because there's just not too much to offer. I don't know. I could also just be missing something. There is a lot of development in progress in South Park, but most of it is related to building more hotels, apartment buildings, and condos. I have noticed also there's a lot of just retail and restaurant space for sale. I'm no economist, but I will say that obviously real estate developers see the potential in South Park and downtown LA, but it kind of just also makes you think, wouldn't you want to move here to be surrounded by already existing up-and-coming establishments instead of moving here first and then hoping that the money will be funded into economic opportunity? And just so many of these very ugly parking lots, okay? I just have to say it. I can't say that there's no restaurants here. Like, this one looks good, Moonlark, and I right across the street, Calo Verde, which is part of the proper hotel.
That's not very nice, though. Not very nice.
While the luxury high-rises make South Park feel new, there is still some good history here in the neighborhood, and that brings us to a notable century-year-old building.
Okay, and we made it to the famous Herald Examiner building.
The Herald Examiner building has been a National Historic building opened in 1915. And it's actually considered to be one of California's most important pieces of architecture, designed by Julia Morgan, who is the first woman in California to get her architecture license. And what was once a newspaper headquarters is now a state-of-the-art building for an LA Post of Arizona State University and some retail space. When a lot of people are visiting the Staples crypto arena and LA Live, they're not really venturing out further into downtown because of its stigma with the safety level. But city planners seem to think that they can fix that with a quick fix. Lighting.
The South Park Business Improvement District says the foot traffic isn't like it used to be, and now they are literally shining light on the issue.
Will it help? I'm not too sure, but it seems to be coming together just a bit more now. All right, getting darker here in downtown LA, and I'm walking over to find these lights to see what my thoughts are.
All right, I do see a string of lights here, but they're not on yet. Maybe it's still too light out.
You have a lot of tree lights. Is this what they're talking about? I mean, I do have to say, it does add some nice ambiance to the streets here.
I kind of have to note though, with this very chilly and brisk temperature and the lights on the trees here, it kind of feels like it's Christmas in New York. I'm very seasonally confused. I think it's time to get back to the west side. Hopefully it's warmer at the beach. I don't think so. What's going on with LA lately? To wrap this video up, I'll leave it saying that I do think there's something left to be desired with South Park. While iconic in itself with sporting and entertainment events in the city planners can try to put in these nice lights to deter crime and appear trendier, but what really is going to attract people to want to live in downtown is not just resort-feeling apartment buildings, but a collective community feel that comes from living in a large, safer urban environment. That may be ways away, but I think we're headed in somewhat of a positive direction. Thanks for watching. Let me know your thoughts about South Park's future, and I'll see you next time.